Hello everyone, hi, how are you guys doing? Welcome back to another episode of A Dark Reaction. This is Hard Live, and my name is Matt. And okay, so we're back here watching Dark again. Last week, I watched episode 1 of the third season after a year not having seen anything about the show. And now we're gonna go into episode 2. I'm gonna open my TXT, even though there's not a lot that I wrote. It was just like a recap TXT. So what happened last episode? I really like last episode because it was essentially like a repeat of the first episode of the show on season 1. Except that this time we're on an alternate timeline. We're in a different universe, a parallel universe, where things are the same, but just a little bit different. And the main difference in this timeline, I would say, is the fact that Mikkel does not travel back in time, therefore he doesn't become Mike and Conwell, therefore Jonas doesn't exist. So, yes, Jonas arrives on this new alternate timeline because of the alternate timeline Martha bringing him here in order to save him of the apocalypse from 2020 in his world. And then he is here and he's like, what the fuck is happening? And he discovers that in this world he doesn't exist. Nobody knows who he is. And in a way, Martha is kind of the main character of this timeline. Like by looking at it and the way they're framing the shots and the fact that she's wearing the same like jacket, it seems that they're strongly implying that Martha is the main character in this world, essentially. I mean, I'm speaking from like a meta perspective, but like if the world revolves around Jonas in the original world, then the world spins around Martha in this alternate timeline, because Jonas becomes Adam, right? And also because, and I was thinking about this, well, I did talk about it a little bit, but like the mysterious stranger, so like middle Jonas, adult Jonas, he is in the 1800s alongside the other members of the loser gang, and they're, and like I said that he was doing some Tesla shit. He was. Because the thing is that in the 1800s, there was no electricity, man. So in order to, like, make the dumb black goo portal, he essentially has to invent technology to begin with. So the mysterious stranger was actually fucking with electricity decades before it should have been the case, because he's trying to come up with like the high advanced tech time travel shit. And I'm assuming he might get some help, because like it would be pretty impressive if my guy Jonas just invented like 200 years of technology just out of nowhere, right? It would be crazy if he did that, because in the 20s he has the portal. So maybe he will get some help from alternate universe Martha or something, but whatever. The point is that he becomes Adam, he creates the tunnels, all the time travel shenanigans happens, he wages war against time or whatever. So all of that shit happens. Thing is, that I said this, and I'm pretty sure it's the case, because at the end of previous episode, when Jonas is like, oh my god, Mikkel didn't travel back, this old lady shows up in front of him. And it's not Claudia, it's another old lady. And the hair gave away that it was Martha. If you ask me, that was absolutely Martha. And because she said, it's because of you and because of me. So I'm like, okay, both of you are the main characters of your own timelines. Makes sense. And also I was like, okay, so he grows old and he becomes Adam. You grow old and you become Eve. It has to be. Because this show is fucking dumb sometimes in like its thematic elements. So it's like, yes, sure, she has to be Eve. So what I'm wondering is like, what is exactly her purpose? What is she doing? And like, yes, like we don't really know much about the mystery. We just got a setting change, and it's like, deal with it. Previous episode, I feel like it was relatively easy to take in, just the fact that it's just a reboot of the first episode, but different, because this world is different, and it's up to you whether or not you pick up the difference. So for example, what was her name? Francisca. She's now deaf mute or deaf or whatever, and Elizabeth isn't. Helge is missing one eye, not the ear. Fucking Waller, he's missing an arm versus nothing at all. Ulrich, so originally he was with Katharina and his family, and then he was cheating on her with Hannah. Now he is cheating Hannah with Charlotte, where originally Peter was the one doing the cheating. So, and he's already divorced from what was, I just said it, Katharina. Yeah. Mikkel might be older, might not be. I think he is, because like Magnus said it, he's old enough to take care of himself. Maybe that was just a thing he said, but because the actor is older, I was thinking maybe he's older now. So yeah, there's a bunch of different. Also, there's this fucking guy, Killian. I'm not sure if he just blinked into existence in this reality, or he was already there, but we just didn't care about him in the previous seasons. That could totally be the case. You know, Jonas doesn't exist, so it's like, well, there's a space that needs to be filled. Fuck it, Eric Ovender's brother, sure. So that's what's happening. Anything else we're mentioning? I don't think so. I think we can just jump into this episode now. There's probably shit that I should like try to remember, but whatever. We'll just watch what happens now. So yeah, Dark Season 3, Episode 2. Let's go. Wait, what just happened? Why is she covering? Okay. So those were the nightmares that this Martha is having. Okay, this Martha has gone through shit then. Hey, the gang's here.
Du lebst.
Wir brauchen das alles wieder gut zu machen. Dass das alles nicht passiert. Dass ihr nicht sterbt in meiner Welt und ich nicht sterbe in eurer. Dass Ulrich, dass Papa, Mikkel, dass sie alle zurückkommen. Dass das alles endlich ein Ende hat.
So in her world, everyone died. I mean, in our world, everyone died too in 2020, so. Again with the fucking... So is this our world, then? But this is 86. Yeah, okay. Wait, so... Ines and Michael are missing then. For like 3 months, they just disappear. This is where she ended after the end of previous season. You did the right thing. Even if the coffin isn't... Yeah, just declare him dead.
Wenigstens haben wir uns. Jetzt können wir Hand in Hand vor einem leeren Sarg stehen und endlich abschließen. Seit Mats verschwunden ist.
Yeah. He was banging Claudia, wasn't he?
Während mein Sohn verschwunden ist, hat er Claudia Tiedemann gevögelt.
Well, the drama.
Keine Ahnung, wovon du redest.
Is he gonna deny it? Wait, so this is 2020. So this is like right after the apocalypse then. The world scientists are still seeking an explanation for the events of June 27, 2020. So it's been a couple months. The epicenter of the global catastrophe is the small town of Winden. Yeah, it's thought to be the small town of Winden. A Franz Richard team believes it is possible that the world stood still for a fraction of a nanosecond on June 27th. Data forces might have diverged as a result. Okay! This would explain the global spring tides, weather phenomena, and disturbances of electricity systems, which in turn could explain the great number of airplane crashes. Local power plants survive. There's no sign of the situation stabilizing. Okay. And it's not gonna stabilize for like another 30 years at least, so. Oh, it's Regina. I mean, she was already dying of cancer, so this life that we got for her is not the best. I mean, Claudia really wanted to save her, but what's that gonna do? Look at this shit. Radiation needed detector. This whole place is fucking radioactive as fuck then. Which it should be. Is this Noah? Because Noah still also survived. So Oh, no. I mean, this makes sense. It makes sense that, like, literally everyone would come to win and to be like, what the fuck, you guys?
Das ist doch Bullshit.
We already did time travel. We can take this shit.
Wusstest du, wo wir sind?
Good question.
Jonas hat es mir gesagt.
Also good response.
Ich
Like,
dachte, es gibt keinen Jonas in deiner Welt.
your journalist did. But
Von eurer Welt in meine.
do you remember this?
Du lügst.
No, he doesn't.
Ich war nie in deiner Welt.
So, how does this work?
Was willst du wirklich? Hat Adam dich geschickt? Womit bist du gereist? Ich will wissen, womit du gereist bist!
Who's this? Is he blind? Yeah, he has to be blind. Otherwise, this would be supremely creepy. Yeah, I doubt his eyes look great.
Der Grund, warum sein Gemüt heute noch schlechter ist als sonst. Dass ich mehr sehe als die Sehenden unter uns.
Okay, new character introduced. They're really trying to make me remember that character as the blind dude who knows more than he lets on for some reason. Yes. Yes.
Vielleicht hat Urin jetzt doch geholt.
Who?
Was für ein Irrer.
The old Ulrich. Oh shit. And that is you. This is crazy. This is fucking nuts.
Zu Geschi. Katharina Albers.
This fucking scene is crazy for it, isn't it?
Ich erinnere mich.
You remember this taking place?
Es ist diesen Sommer eine ausgebrochen.
Okay, she's gonna tell her.
Hat versucht, Michael mit in die Höhle zu schleppen. Stand in der Zeitung.
Du lässt deine Finger von Mikkel. Und von Ulrich.
Wow. She's just like a 14-year-old girl. And she's like, what the fuck, old lady? Yeah, because they're like, she fucked my son, she fucked my husband.
Ich glaube, es hatte alles was mit der alten Frau zu tun und dem Hund. Sie war ein paar Tage bevor Frau Tiedemann verschwunden ist da. Hat gesagt, dass der Hund ihr gehört, ihn dann aber nicht mitgenommen.
Okay, dead body list. Peter. Oh, that's what they're doing. All of our friends, all our neighbors. That's why he was like, why are you doing this to her?
Ende 40. Blonde Haare.
Are they looking for Charlotte?
17. Rote Haare.
Wenn sie nicht an der Wand sind, dann sind sie nicht hier.
So they're looking for Charlotte and Franziska then.
Den Aufenthaltsort von Ines und Michael Kahnwald.
Oh,
Irre ist zurück in der geschlossenen. Genauso wie die letzten 34 Jahre.
34 years.
Was haben Sie da gerade gesagt?
So someone that went 33 years into the past. If you go there, you'll see his face and you'll know who it is. Ulrich did go missing in the future. So she's gonna be like, wait a second. Maybe she already thinks it's him. Because it's someone that tried to take Mikkel. So she's gonna be like, Ulrich literally time travel and tried to get the kid back. It's Regina.
Verschwinden von Mats und meiner Mutter. Dass das was miteinander zu tun hat?
You have no idea, Regina.
Dir etwas über mich erzählt.
You're being a little bit creepy.
Wenn du irgendetwas brauchst.
Vielleicht können wir sie retten.
Okay. So Charlotte could just be dead. In fact, she should be. But she's not there. Okay. Oh, hey, you're at Jonas's house. This is where the fucking reality shift happened. Is this Noah? Young Noah? I mean, you two are gonna end up hooking together, so. My mom and sister, yep. At the cave.
Sie beschützen. Ich weiß. Das will ich auch. Und das werde ich.
Yep.
Nachdem du getötet wurdest.
And she didn't hear that.
Seitdem wir hier sind. Yes.
He's been fucked up. Because he turns into Adam. This is the path that he takes in order to turn into him.
Genau in dem Moment, als alles hochgegangen ist. Er wollte nicht hierhin. Es ist einfach so passiert.
Because now he knows his destiny.
Der Apparat ist leer. Nicht so einfach in 1888 an einen nuklearen Brennstoff aus der Zukunft zu kommen.
Ah, yes, the Back to the Future problem.
Was ist das? Die Werkstatt. Der Blinde.
Okay, explain that. Oh, it's something he wants to show you. Okay.
Als ich euch gefunden habe, war das ein Zeichen. Ein Geschenk des Himmels.
The blind man could be Adam.
Für dich bedeutet, vergiss nicht, was wir erschaffen werden. Das Paradies, das Unheil kann umgekehrt werden. Jeder Schmerz vernichtet, bevor er überhaupt entsteht.
Sigmund is created as dust. By the way, what I'm thinking is that like we're gonna get to see how that Jonas, the mysterious strangers, end up becoming Adam physically. So something's gonna happen to him at some point. Some sort of radiation shit. Alright, so is Katharina gonna meet Ulrich? And this is gonna be like the first coherent conversation that is gonna happen. Maybe. She's visibly crying. Helene Alvers. Oh, is this your mom?
Kam mir irgendwie bekannt vor.
This is your mom.
Ist mein Mann.
You don't really have the paperwork for that.
Wir sind eine von denen.
What?
Von den Frauen, die
Oh.
oder Inhaftierten suchen, weil sie
Oh, she thinks you're a fangirl.
Christophorus. Abgeschworen, den Schöpfer der Welt getragen. Meine Mutter hatte auch so einen sehr weiten Weg gereist. Lassen Sie mich zu ihm.
He was just released from solitary. Hopefully he won't freak out like he did with Egon. He might break down crying, if anything. I don't think it will attack her. She can see it's him.
Katharina.
Yeah. Yeah, he's gonna break down. Just don't have a heart attack, man. Just don't have a heart attack and just...
Ich hole dich raus. Versprochen.
Don't cut away. I wanna see a conversation between them. But at least that tells me what she wants to do. Who is it? Oh, it's Stooges, but it's the same person. So they're gonna kill you, I suppose, now. You're a side character, you don't matter to the plot, so you're dead. We need to build them up.
Wer der Vater ist.
Ich muss mich entscheiden.
Alright. That finally answered that question that I had at some point. Just like, we never really knew who Regina's dad was. Back to Regina. Claudia, please come back. Don't leave her alone. It's not her. Or is it Tronti? It's fucking Tronti. It's your dad. Alright. Nice sequence of events.
Es tut mir so leid, aber es muss passieren.
Don't you fucking dare kill her. I don't know why would you do that, but... Why?
Sie hat gesagt, dass es der einzige Weg ist, dich zu retten.
Why? How? Okay. I'm so pissed. Why? Oh, he wrote cave underneath mom and sister. So maybe that's not a little kid anymore. Yeah, we're kind of apocalypse survivors. She doesn't know about all this time travel nonsense, doesn't she? Yeah.
Wir werden sie finden.
2053, 22nd of September. Alright, so we're gonna see Elizabeth back. Are you with Elizabeth? She time traveled to 53. They're together now. Oh yeah, and we do have that weird mother-daughter relationship. The weird daughter-mother-daughter relationship. I mean, Charlotte did kind of trade an apocalyptic world for a post-apocalyptic world. Hug, please. That's cute.
Räum den Tisch auf.
Oh yeah, she did have an abusive relationship at home, didn't she? I think she did. It was like hinted at one point. She got like bruises on her face and something, and I pointed it out, and I was like, why? We didn't get to hear the conversation! But now we know that she's gonna try to free him. Yep. Will she ever know that she was murdered though? Both of you are dead in the future. Cool. I just saw both of your dead bodies. You just murdered your daughter and I have no idea why.
Der alte Tannhaus ist der einzige, der von ihm übrig geblieben ist.
Old Townhouse. Oh, okay. So the old blind man is the old Townhouse.
Zeigt die Gesetze von Raum und
His
Zeit.
father was convinced that he could reverse the rules of space and he dedicated his entire life to this.
Und sein Sohn nach ihm.
And so did his son. Just trying to rebuild things the way he saw them.
War schon mal hier.
He's been here before.
Wer ist dieser Adam?
It's him in the future.
Er hat es euch nicht gesagt. Er ist Adam. Jonas.
Hi! Hello! That was a transition.
Des freien Willens hingeben.
Illusion of free will.
Aber unserem endgültigen Schicksal
We cannot escape our destiny.
entkommen wir nicht.
Okay, so this is what you believe in destiny. I suppose if time travel is real, then you do know your path, and therefore you can interpret it as destiny. The conversion at the same moment. This may not happen in the same way,
Oder zur gleichen
or at
Zeit.
the same time,
Aber sie passieren.
but they happen. By the way, yes, Adam and Eve. That is absolutely her name.
Die Apokalypse geschieht in meiner Welt genauso wie in deiner. Meiner allerdings bereits in 3 Tagen.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay. Stuff to talk about. No, Netflix, stop playing shit automatically, Netflix. This is why I hate you. I have a couple questions. I mean, no, this is just gonna be the way every Dark episode is, honestly. That's the way it's always been. But like, first of all, why did Tronte kill Regina just like that? Because he clearly is doing it because of something. Like, it's not just killing her. He's thinking that he's saving her. So, how does that work? I would assume that if you kill someone, you're not saving them. You're killing them. Which is the opposite. So, what we need to delve into then, it's the belief that he... Okay, like, he's like, she said... Give me a second. He said, she said, which makes me think it's a woman. So I'm like, okay, who was it? And I'm like, would have been Claudia? It could have been Claudia, you know? Like, that's probably someone Tronte would listen to. What if it was fucking Agnes? So at the end of the episode, Jonas and... How should I read this, though? Because, okay, so Jonas and I suppose Eve are talking about whatever's happening in both worlds. And then we look at the graphic that they presented to us, which is like on the floor. And there is an infinity symbol, and then that splits into Agnes Nielsen, and then Tronte Nielsen, and then that splits into everyone else. I need to read this. I need to actually see the full version of this. It's very confusing to read this fucking graphic. And you know what? I'm fucking thinking that they knew that. I'm fucking thinking that they fucking knew that this shit was going to be very complicated to put into a graphic. So then they were like, fuck it. It has to be in this shape because this is the only way we can connect everything and make it sort of make sense. Also, because this looks like wings, so it's thematic, I suppose. Whatever. The point is, I don't remember what the point was. Yeah, I was thinking, who's the person that told Tronte to go and kill Regina? First suspicion, Claudia, old Claudia told her to do that. Not adult Claudia, the old one. So because yeah, like who would Tronte listen to go and be like I'm gonna go and kill my own daughter? Because it was literally established I'm her dad, and then he killed her within 1 minute. So it was like, all right then, what is the point that they're trying to? I mean, the point they're trying to make here is that dad killed daughter. Cool. Why? Because it didn't seem that he didn't care about her. It's just that she was the product of an affair. So he's like, all right, I cannot be a dad here. So, I am thinking old Claudia or old Martha, or I don't know who else is like a. I'm thinking Claudia because like that would be the only person Tronte would listen to. It's like, who's gonna tell the dad to go and kill the daughter? The mother who knows more, and then she's like, I know what I'm doing. This is gonna save her. Why would it save her if you're killing her? It has to be some kind of like dumb, like spiritual kind of approach where it's like if she dies in this world she can live in the next one, some shit like that, because otherwise I do not see how. Okay, so that could happen. Actually, that could actually happen, and the small seed that they planted for that is the fact that whenever the shit happens in the first episode when Miguel goes missing and then someone else doesn't go missing, is that someone covered in dark matter shows up. Like Mike and Conway showed up covered in dark matter, and then a lady showed up covered in dark matter, and I'm not sure who that was, by the way. It makes me think it was some lady from the 50s, right? Showed cover up in dark matter when Martha saw her previous episode, right? So I suppose we could say there is some kind of sci-fi spiritual nonsense. And I don't mean literally spiritual, even though it could be literal. I mean some kind of like sci-fi afterlife that happens if you die, whatever. I'm not sure what this show wants to do, but the imagery of like Adam and Eve and you know, like mythos in general has always been very prevalent. So it could happen, and I'm just pointing it out. Okay, what else happens in the episode? Okay, so we actually get to follow Katharina now. So Katharina is in 87. So Katharina, because the last time we saw Katharina, she was at the like caves, and she was going into a portal. She opened it, and that's when the apocalypse happened or whatever. And she opened it and she traveled to 87. She might not know that the world ended in 2020. She might not know that. She might not know that. But okay, so in 80... Okay, so she's in 87. She went to 87 and she's looking for Mikkel. Alright. Because she learned that time travel is real, then she traveled to 87, and then she's like, all right, this is where Mikkel is. He becomes Mike and Conwell. She's acting on mother instinct. She's like, all right, I'm gonna break this kid out of here. The reality is that she cannot do that because the time laws don't allow it, because Jonas exists. But she's still gonna go. So she goes there, and then Mikkel is not there. Mikkel and Ines are not there. So it's like, okay, where the fuck are they? And I was very confused. But then the policeman said, well, they were actually went into not really witness protection, but kind of, where we just hid them for a while because there was a madman trying to fucking steal that kid. So we just hid them for a while. Okay, makes sense. But then Katarina, and there was a really cool scene where Katarina saw herself and and Ulrich and Hannah in high school days, and they were together and they were kissing, and Hannah was there, and Katarina just saw the whole thing develop, and she was like, and I remember, and Katarina said, I remember this. So it's like she remembers this event having happened, and she's like, holy shit. So that must have been fucking wild. I like that, by the way. I like that a lot. So then she learns from Ulrich and then Hannah that there was an old man from the asylum. He was just a madman, and he tried to steal that kid. So then she goes to the police and asks what the fuck is there, and the police tells her that that madman has been in the asylum for the past 34 years. So then Katarina goes, 34 years, you say. So then because she knows that time travel is possible only in 33-year leaps. Ulrich went missing last year, a couple months ago, I think. So she's like, wait a second. So what she does is that she goes to the asylum, I'm assuming already expecting it would have been Ulrich. So when she gets there, and by the way, she gets there and she sees her mom. She's the receptionist of the asylum. And I like that they didn't show a lot, but they showed just enough to tell me that their relationship at home wasn't great. Katerina and her mom, they didn't get along very much. The mom was low-key abusive. Maybe high-key too, because I think that we saw her with like bruises and shit in the past. So, okay. She becomes kind of a punk chick because her house situation, it just sucks. So, okay. But she still like cries when she sees her mom because her mom is probably dead by now. So she's like, I'm seeing my mom again. Like, it's probably just a bunch of feelings, a bunch of emotions, because this is the image that you have in your mind of both your caretaker and your abuser. And maybe they're still around, maybe they're not. Well, they're definitely not now, but maybe they weren't still alive by the time you came here in the future. But now you're seeing them again, and it's the whole reunion bit, but also she's your abuser. So it was probably a mixture of emotions happening, and she just stood there and cried a little bit. And then she did say something about her pendant and this patron saint of traveling or whatever, and that was enough of a charisma check in order to get inside the psychiatric ward in order to see old Ulrich. So she went to him, and Ulrich was just like playing chess or whatever, just sitting there doing it on his own, and he didn't even look up when she sat there in the chair. But when she did after a bit and she said Ulrich, he looked up and he didn't fully break down, but he broke down. Like, I was thinking, like, please don't freak out. And he didn't. Like, with Egon, he has no reason to do it, but he did, like, have, like, a small breakdown, you know, emotionally. He was just, like, he had this, like, face of pure sadness. And then he started, like, trembling. And then Katerina held his hands. And I like that Katerina was like, I'm gonna get you out of here. I like that. Because like, the thing is that I wasn't sure what the Katerina was gonna feel. I wasn't sure what Katerina was gonna be up to. But the reality is that, like, to a degree, she loves him. Which is why she feels awful about the Hannah thing. Because she has had always feelings for this guy. And even though he fucked up several times, I'm sure she can intune it right now that he time traveled 67 years into the past, well, 66 at the time, in order to try and find Mikko because he figured it out. So and then he got stuck here. So she can probably be like, he actually like gave up everything trying to find our son. And you know what? That's good. So and like she can tell that he cares for that. He cares a lot about that. He tried to fucking kidnap the kid, right? She heard that. And it's not that Ulrich didn't care for Katharina either. Like, that's the thing. It's that, like, did I mention this before? Like in some of the like the previous seasons or whatever. It's been like a literal year since I watched them. But like the thing about cheating, from what I've read, is that cheating isn't really like about your problems with the other person. It's about your own like problems with yourself, right? So Ulrich has problems. He doesn't necessarily not care about Katharina. And to a degree, maybe even Hannah. Well, now he probably hates Hannah because she literally just left him to rot. But he probably still cares a lot about Katharina. And he probably has had a lot of time to think about that whole situation for the past 34 years. But it's not that he never cared. So this is probably still like very emotional for him. About Katharina, about Mikkel, about everything. And still for her too. Because she can probably tell that he cares for her as well, and also cares for Mikkel. That is a given. So, all right, that is happening. I'm fucking disappointed that the show didn't fucking show me a conversation between the two of them, right? Because that would have been the best. That's what the thing I wanted to see the most, and they didn't show me that. They just showed me that he like broke down, and then she was like, I'm gonna get you out of here, and then he cut away. And then the next time we see them, she's walking away from the ward, and he's like standing looking at her. So it's like we did just have like a moment together. That's what they're trying to tell me. There was a passage of time where they were together and maybe conversations were had. I want to know what the fuck that was. So the fact that they cut away from that makes it think that maybe they'll show me later what the conversation actually was in some sort of flashback or something. I don't think we're gonna time travel to see the conversation. I think it's just gonna be like a flashback of someone remembering, like Ulrich or Katharina being like, "Okay, so this is the plan," or something like that. But maybe not. Maybe I'm just hoping, because I really wanted to see a conversation between them. But I get a feeling I'm gonna see more in the future. By the way, fucking Ulrich's jacket just saying "no future" is fucking great. I just saw it again. I was just looking at the episode. Anyway, back to 2053. I'm sorry because I thought Claudia was Charlotte. She looks a little bit like Charlotte. Like, don't tell me she doesn't, because she does. Like, I'm looking at this one picture. This one scene. I mean, it looks like Claudia. But there were like a couple scenes where she looks like Charlotte as well. The hair absolutely looks like Claudia. And that is something that I didn't say, but I thought about. I was like, yeah, it's Charlotte, but her hair looks like Claudia. No, it was Claudia, you dumb motherfucker. But the thing is that when I was thinking Claudia, but I was just thinking about like old Claudia. But I'm assuming now we're going to get to see adult Claudia's journey into becoming old Claudia. All right. So adult Claudia lives in 2020 in the post-apocalyptic world. And I suppose she's just going to live all the way to 52. And then she's going to start time traveling. Regina is under her care, but she didn't do a good job because then she was murdered by her dad, maybe under orders of herself. What else? Oh yeah, fucking Hannah. I think her name was Jana. Jana. She calls Tronti out in front of everybody, just being like, dude, you fucking that bitch while my kid went missing. I don't even blame her. She's having a tough time, man. I feel really bad for Jana. Then we get so we get to see fucking Peter and Elizabeth. And they're both in 2020 surviving. And they get and they saw the corpses of all of their neighbors and friends and relatives and whatever. And it's just like, yep, they're all dead. Cool. But they're trying to see if they can find Charlotte and Francisca. There we go. For a second, they said redhead, and I was like, who's a red? And I'm like, Francisca, I suppose. Her hair is more like orange, but I suppose that counts as red. But it's weird because everyone else is blonde, so I was like, she's kind of blonde. She's blonde, dark blonde, but yeah, I suppose she's a redhead. But yeah, they're trying to find them. That's the only thing they're doing. Also, there's a bunch of radiation everywhere, as there should be. Then we see Elizabeth meets with young Noah. And they're just hanging out. And young Noah apparently knows that he's gonna hook up with her in the future. Maybe. That's why he's following them. Because he also like tells Peter, what the fuck does he tell Peter? He said, you're trying to protect her. I know, so do I. And I will after you were killed. Okay, so Peter's gonna get killed. He said where, so plural. So maybe Peter and Charlotte, but Charlotte's somewhere else. So Peter and someone else is gonna get killed, and then he's gonna take care of her, of Elizabeth. They're gonna hook up together, and they're gonna become a thing, and that's gonna give birth to Charlotte, and that's gonna be the future. All right. Moving forward. So at the beginning of the episode, we saw Jonas and Martha. Alternate reality Martha comes for mysterious stranger Jonas in the 1800s. So she explains her origin, and I like that we get to see Magnus, Francisca, and Bartos again. I like that we get to see them, and they're I like that we can tell that Magnus is different. He has a different haircut and everything. I like that. But they're in 1800s. Okay, cool. They're just trying to survive. And I like that they established that since we got here, older Jonas has been acting weird and different. Well, he's been having a hard time. And it's like, yes, he's been having a hard time for several reasons. But the reason why he is having a hard time specifically after they came here is because he said, we didn't even try to come here. It just happened. So Jonas just used the time machine. Just fuck it. Take us out of here. And he time traveled to the 1800s. And now he's like, shit. This is the one place I didn't want to be in, because that is what turns me into Adam. I'm going to end up becoming Adam, whether I like it or not, because I'm here. And whatever happens here is going to take me on that path. But the thing is that I've already said this before. Why don't characters just kill themselves? And I understand that is an easy thing to say, right? I understand that it's an easy thing to say, well, just kill yourself. But if it's so important to older Jonas to just not become Adam at any cost, he should be able to just die and not become Adam. Maybe that's how he gets the scars. Maybe he decides, I'm gonna die, and he jumps into some shit. He just throws himself into an explosion of electricity or radiation or whatever, and he's like, fuck it, I'm gonna die, and then he doesn't, and then his body's fully scarred and he becomes Adam. Maybe that's how it happens, you know? He tries to not become Adam, and he does. That would be fucking ironic, wouldn't it? Anyway, there's a blind man now, and he seems to be Tannhaus. Some Tannhaus. And apparently his dad was obsessed with the ability to jump through space and time. Cool. And then now he's also obsessed with that. This Tannhaus. Was his dad the Tannhaus that we had before? And by that I mean the time house that we're gonna have in like 60 years. And then that Tannhaus time travels and comes back to the 1800s or even 1700s, and he has a son, and it's this Tannhaus, the blind man, who then becomes obsessed with this shit, and then he's the reason why he gets Jonas and everyone to work for him or whatever, doing some shit in the Sigmundus Gratis shit. Like, because if that's the case, that means that we caused it to begin with, which was already something that you should have suspected immediately, which is something that I'm sure I did, or I'm sure was already explained. I just don't remember. But like, if Jonas, like, okay, if Tannhaus becomes obsessed with space and time travel, and he starts like a cult or gives those ideas to his son, who starts the cult which then becomes the adult Jonas cult, the Adam cult, and that shit, and which ends up causing all the tunnels to happen, so every form of time travel to happen as a result as well. Would every form of time travel happen because of it? Yeah, because like the thing is that every single event is so intertwined with itself that at this point, change one little detail and nothing happens. Change one little detail and nothing would have ever happened. Because if the Thanos wouldn't have existed, Jonas wouldn't have existed, but the world ends anyway. Why though? That is what we need to try and find out. That is what we need to try and figure out. Why is there I assume Eve? I assume another version of Sigmundus in the alternate timeline where Jonas doesn't exist. Because if Jonas doesn't exist, well, maybe the Sigmundus cult already, but like, Sigmundus. Okay, so if Tannhaus, the clockmaker, becomes the obsessed and time travels to the past and gives birth to the blind man, who then creates the cult, or maybe Tannhaus himself creates the cult, that means that Tannhaus wouldn't have gotten the idea to time travel to begin with, because Jonas doesn't exist in that other timeline. A lot of what I'm saying operates on assumptions, but like, what the fuck are we gonna do with this show, right? Nothing makes sense. It does, but nothing seems like it makes sense. Kudos to this show for balancing like hard drama between characters and just fucking what the fuck is going on convoluted fucking time travel storyline. Like earlier I was watching like an LP of a game called 13 Sentinels, and if any of you care about video games, that game seems to be kind of like this. I don't know anything about the game. I only know like 4 hours of the game, so not a lot. But it's like a hard sci-fi time travel, a post-apocalyptic narrative with like a bajillion characters, and it's all told out of sync, out of order, chronological order. So it's just like we jump all over the place. It's like this guy is in the fucking 1940s, World War II Japan, and he time travels to 85. And then he time travels to the future in order to defeat the monsters that are destroying humanity. It's like, and he's like, what the fuck is happening? And I'm just like, yeah, right? That's cool. Anyway, so back to Dark. Oh yeah, this chick died. I don't remember her name. I don't think it matters. So the chick that was like Claudia's secretary, she's just in the power plant. She's going home, and then she sees that there might be someone there, and she's like, who's there? And then she finds the Three Musketeers, the Three Stooges, the dynamic, well, no. Dynamic duo. What would be the one for trio? Well, whatever. She finds the trio of the same dude, that they all move in sync at the same time. They all grab their hands at the same time, just in case you didn't get it that they're the same person. Just in case the scar wasn't enough. They see her, and it's like, oh, you saw us. Well, now you must die. And then they kill her. They did say something edgy as shit, really dumb. They said, what was it that they said? I could look it up, but like, and try not to jump and watch the episode as I record, because that kind of sometimes freezes the recording. So if there's ever like frame stuttering, it's because of that. Because my computer is not that great. I'm trying to upgrade it, by the way. I did buy like a new. Okay, bought this the other day. It's a new processor. It's a Ryzen 5 2600. It's not the best right now for 2020, but I live in Argentina, and you kind of want to get what you can get. And I also bought a new video card, and then I'm gonna need a new motherboard and a new RAM, and then I'll have a new computer. I'll get a new case eventually, but the case really doesn't matter that much, does it? Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, they kill her. That is really just to build them up further, isn't it? Just like, there's 3 guys, they killed the dude the previous episode to get the master key. Now they encountered this chick where they were looking for something, and it's just like, well, now you have to die, and they kill her. They're just building them up as like this trio of the same person who's just killing people across time. Well, not really across time, because both of these events happened in 87, right? So, alright. Okay. So they're just out there killing people, trying to find something on the power plant. So that's just going to be something that happens. Like every now and then we're going to get 1 or 2 scenes where we see them, and someone's going to walk in on them, and they're going to be like, hey, we're going to kill you now. And then they took out the thing, and the other 2 do this in the background, and there you go. Anyway. So what else? Oh yeah, we get to see, well, Peter and Elizabeth are having this moment of like, we're going to find them, right? And Elizabeth is trying desperately for Peter to tell her what the fuck the deal is with the Sigmunda shit. So I suppose he hasn't told her. He should. And then we skip to 2053, and we see Charlotte and Elizabeth together. This is nice. Mother and daughter and daughter and mother are together. Or mother and mother or daughter and daughter are together. And they're just hanging out. And I like that Elizabeth is the one telling Charlotte, like, it's gonna be okay. Because it's like, Charlotte is also an adult. She's went through way more shit than Charlotte has. And Elizabeth is also your mother. So it makes sense for her to be like, it's gonna be okay. Because Charlotte is the mother, but Elizabeth is also the mother. Like, it's you forget sometimes, but that's how it is. That's how literally what's happening here. And I like that both of them, like, they didn't hug, but they like pressed their like foreheads together, and it was like a cute moment where they meet up again, because they haven't, like, yeah, like Elizabeth hasn't seen Charlotte in like 34 years, so now it's like that's cool. I like that. Then we get the musical bit, the episodic musical bit where we see a bunch of scenes with characters. We can skip that. Oh yeah, by the way, Noah wrote that he's in the caves, but he wrote caves underneath where Elizabeth wrote mom and sister. So then I believe Elizabeth is gonna go into the caves and be like, that was probably a hint or something. We didn't search in the caves, so we'll see what happens. Then Bartosz takes Martha to the Sigmunda's conference room or whatever. And I like them. Martha then tells Bartosz that Jonas is Adam. And Bartosz didn't know. So Jonas didn't tell him at any point. But the thing is that he's gonna become Adam, and that's why he hates being here. That's why he's freaking out. That's why he's always in a bad mood. And the thing is that, like, that's why you become Adam, you dumb motherfucker. Because it's like, I feel like characters in shows sometimes don't pay any degree of attention to like mental stability, mental health. And in a situation where you end up becoming that person, I feel like the most important thing you want to do is to achieve like inner peace. To just like not lose your goddamn mind. And the thing is that adult Jonas is losing his mind, because it's like, fuck, this is gonna happen. And it's like, yeah, maybe you can't even fight it, but like, if he's actually freaking out and he's becoming more aggressive and he's becoming more like just crazy, that is what ends up leading into that path to begin with. So try not to do that, at least. Like, I understand that it's inevitable, but still. Anyway, and then we jump to the final scene where we see old Martha, Eve. I'm gonna keep calling her Eve until the show tells me that that is not her name, but that is her name. I'm 100% sure, because they fucking show me a picture of Adam and Eve, and they were standing in front, Jonas in front of Adam, and Martha in front of Eve. So that has to be Eve. Also, that has to be Martha. There's no way that's not Martha. But yeah, they're just standing there, and then they're talking about both words converge on the same moment. Things may not happen in the same way or at the same time, but they happen. And you believe a world without you would be a better one, but no, mine also ends. Mikkel dies. The apocalypse takes place in my world just as it does in yours. But mine touches in 3 days. Oh shit. I mean, yes. I already read that she said that. But like, the thing is that is happening in 2019 then. Because I believe this is 2019. This is the 21st or 22nd of September of 2019. So in like the 26th, 3 days. No, so the 24th to 25th of 2019. That's when the apocalypse happens. Okay. So we're gonna get to see everything go to shit again. And Martha did say everyone dies, so everyone is going to die then. Martha's gonna survive. And why is she gonna survive? Because Jonas is gonna make her survive. Because Eve is gonna tell her that Jonas helps her survive. And then that's where her journey begins. Okay. That's probably what's gonna happen. But I like that we have this view of like destiny now, of like fate, that Martha is laying on the table. And I'm assuming this is something that like Adam brought up before or something, which is like, we cannot escape fate. Things are destined to happen and they will always happen. And the thing is that like, destiny is not really a thing, but we're dealing with time travel. So the thing is that now we're entering this weird realm of like, time travel is real and it operates in the way that like, I don't remember how the specific like names for every version of time travel are, but it operates in the rules that things will always happen the way they always do, right? Because if it's the idea that if you travel back to the past and you see yourself doing some shit that you already knew you did, you would have to do it. But that means that version of yourself would also have to have seen the future version of yourself, because it was always happened the way it always did, and it will always will. So it operates in this idea specifically. So here's the other question though. I forgot about this until just now, but I really meant to talk about it. Adult Jonas doesn't remember alternate universe Martha. So that raises some questions about the nature of everything. Because, okay, so are we supposed to think that like, and believe and know that like, things that we saw in the first 2 seasons will always take place that way within its own universe? But if there's interference from another universe, then the rules change because it didn't account for that. Is that how it works? I'm not sure how that would work. Like, because like the thing is that like, yeah, like Jonas doesn't remember traveling to meet Martha, but he did. So what are the possible like explanations to that? The rules are different when it comes to alternate universe travel. Memory wipe is a line. He's not Jonas. What else? Like, yeah, I don't know. I really don't know why he said he doesn't remember her. Unless he's just lying in front of everybody. Why would he do that? No, because he did freak out being like, did Adam send you everything? So yeah, he was freaking out over that. So yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. But yeah, I suppose we can close on that. And the idea that like, when you have time travel, is it really any difference than fucking fate and destiny? Because under these rules, that means that if you time travel to the future and see yourself being killed, you will have to get killed at that spot, and it will happen even if you try for it not to happen. And in fact, that might help into it happening to begin with. So, it seems like fate. So I can understand characters like falling back into some kind of spiritual and mythological themes and views on the world because this is just too much, man. This is just too much. And this is the way it always has been in the show, by the way. But now it's like becoming even more clear, I suppose. But whatever. I think that's a good discussion. We were talking for like 40 minutes. We can stop. Also, I'm super hungry. So I'm going to see if I can go eat something. But yeah, that's it for Dark Season 3 Episode 2. And thank you for watching this reaction to Dark. But if you would like to see next episode, it should already be up on Patreon, as well as full length for that, this, everything else. Check out the links in the description for that, social media, and I'll see you next time, okay? Take care, everyone. Bye.